Good morning. So what's your biggest challenge with social? Everything. Well, inventory. Can I just talk about inventory for a second? Let's get away from social. I had a conversation literally yesterday on a conference call about inventory. Different markets have different levels of inventory, and that's a big thing we're hearing lately is no inventory, right? And no inventory also impacts the mortgage business. It impacts everything. The question is there an inventory problem, or is there a problem with you not having inventory? So here was the exercise I did with one of my coaching clients that was having this problem in New York State. And it's not meant to be like hardcore, but maybe it is a little bit. Because when I coach people, sometimes there's some tough love that has to go with it too, right? That's what I do. So I had this person pull up. I said, how many listings normally in your market come up on a weekend? You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but how many new listings hit the market? He said on average 80 to 90 in his market. It was a different market, right? So 80 to 90. I said, all right, pull up last week's numbers. He's like, look, there's only 42 that came on. So I said 42 listings hit the market Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just on those 3 days. Yes. So I said, how many of those listings did you have? He's like, none. Okay, so if you had 3 of those listings, did you have an inventory problem? Not really. So I said, if I took all 42 of those homeowners and I put them in a room and I said, how many of those homeowners do you know? He's like, I know none of them. Okay. Now, if you knew 5 or 10 of those people from relationships, networking, at a BNI meeting, at a cocktail party, something, if you knew 10 of them, do you have a shot at getting 3 listings? Yeah. So what's the real problem? He didn't know enough people. It's as simple as that. So if you had 3 of those 42 listings, you don't have an inventory problem. The problem is you don't have any inventory. So I know it's hard because there's listings coming on the market. I know it's tough to hear that sometimes. There's listings happening. And I know it's less, but somebody's going to get the business somewhere. So either you're going to get more of it. You know, it's like saying, hey, my competitor takes 100 listings, but our listing inventory is way down. Well, if I could get 10 or 20 of those listings from that competitor, you got to get it from somewhere. Just like when there was no buyers. When the buyers were really tight, you had to find buyer leads. You know, so that was the kind of challenge too. It's either one or the other or happy medium. Rarely it stays happy medium. Now the goal is listings are gold, right? When you compete for a listing, sometimes you're competing with top dogs. Sometimes you're not, but you don't know sometimes either. So you got to bring the entire toolbox. Today I'll share with you some ideas. Yeah, we're going to tie social in today. And while there's a lot of sales and marketing things to talk about, we're going to just focus on some social ideas and some lead capture ideas today. We can always talk about some others, maybe at the next time we get invited back. But let's start and focus first on an hour or so of what we can do on social a little differently. But inventory is a challenge. Just think about how can you find more of it and how can you work to get more. All right, so let's talk about our consumer for a second. Because really, all social media is, just for the record, is simply today's marketing. It's not something else to do. It's just simply today's new world marketing. It's where the customers are. It's where your potential clients are going to be. It's simply you need to be there as well, except you need to be there in a different fashion. It's not just about making a post on Facebook. It's not about making a post on Instagram. There's a strategy way beyond all of that. The 3 words you have to remember, and this is because the consumer wants this, is you need to be memorable, visual, and mobile. Think about this. Why do you think, and this is a hot subject, why do you think the majority of consumers not only trust, but go to Zillow? Why do they go there? Accessibility. That's where they believe all the right information is. Is it done really well in mobile format? It's really mobile. Is their website, for the most cases for the consumers, fairly easy to get around? It's fairly visual, right? So it's visual and very mobile, and obviously they have this memory as if they're going to get. The only reason they were very successful in the beginning, whether you like them or not, is because they did a better job than we did in the industry, giving our customers information on mobile and the way they wanted it. They see it as like the mall. There's no intimidation, right? They're not calling a brand. They don't think they're going to be sold, even though we know behind the scenes it's advertising and marketing. They see it as the neutral play zone. But they did a really good job on mobile, right? They did a really good job giving them visual content. You have to sometimes think about when we go to your websites, you might be doing a great job, but is it really a good experience for that consumer? Do they have to hit drop-down menus and pinch and zoom and shuffle around to find what they want? Or is it 1 or 2 clicks away? That's what you have to start to think about. Because to me, what's our attention span nowadays? Really, really low. Now, anybody have teenagers in the room? Just curious. Teenagers or grandkids that are teenagers? Anybody? Did you ever watch them on Instagram? How they maneuver? Like, can you visualize them doing it? How quick are they moving their thumbs? How quick do you go through Instagram? Anybody who's on Instagram? Really fast, right? So we used to talk about eye-catching information. We used to talk about, eye-grabbing information. This is thumb-stopping information. You have to have visual content that stops a thumb. That's how really crazy it is. You're swiping. Just like they're going through Zillow homes too. They swipe and they swipe. You've got to get something powerful enough to stop them or to stop you, right? So that's really where it is. That's about 2 or 3 seconds of time. So I want to ask this question because once you understand the back end of the reality behind social media, you'll think of it marketing differently. Why do you think social media is not only successful, I'm going to use the word addictive. Would you agree it's addictive though? In some cases? Yeah. In some cases, it could be an absolute time suck too, right? It could just suck time away where you're not productive at all. And I get that. You feed into the drama, right? Distraction. It could be. It could also be very powerful. So let's talk about the reasons why first, and then I'll share mine openly. We're a small group. Let's do it. Why? Information. Who said it, right? Yeah. Easy information. It's all there, right? Why else? It's what? It is entertainment. Absolutely. We're watching everything that's happening. It's keeping us busy. It's preoccupying our time. What's the cost? Free. Anything free. Right? What about FOMO? Fear of missing out. Does that have something to do with it? You think people are thinking like someone else has that more magical life that I'm missing out on somehow? Because perception on social is really powerful. Like we all think some of these people have this magic, glorious, everything's wonderful life in some cases. Or in the opposite, someone's really so down and dramatic and messy, we don't even want to follow them anymore. But that's part of the problem. Here's my real thought on social. It wins because it's built on emotion. Think about that. It's an emotional marketing platform. And I'm going to prove it to you, not just say it. Emotional marketing, if something can get you emotionally moved, isn't real estate an emotional business? Very emotional. I bought my own home. I've been in real estate since 1988, right? So I started in real estate before technology was born, rode through the waves up and down while they were good and bad. And trust me, I had some really bad years in my career. And I'll tell you this openly and honestly, I burnt out twice in my 30 years. When I say burnt out, crashed and burned. And I'm okay to tell you that. No shame in that. I learned a lot from it. If any of you ever need to learn from some of that or go through it, you let me know. I'll be happy to share it with you. Because there's no real reason to hide that stuff. That's our business, right? So that being said, the emotional marketing platform, here's why. When some of you guys or anybody makes a post, think about you made a post. What do most of you or almost all of you do 30 seconds later?
You go back and
you're all going back to see what? If somebody liked it or someone commented. Now, think about why are you doing that? Why? Is that an emotional response?
We need that emotional
You're looking for some kind of validation. You're looking for something emotionally connected. So 2 things are going to happen. If 3 to 5 minutes you went back to your social post and there was not one like or comment, how do you feel? You're like, is Facebook down? Like, did they just shut down for, like, you're trying to hit that refresh button, hoping something like, because that's how you emotionally feel. There's a weird, look, that's why it became an addiction to some. Okay? It became an emotional connection. The other extreme is when you actually get engagement or there is a lot of likes. And think about this. And this sounds, if you asked me 10 years ago would I be talking about this, the answer would be no. When someone gives you the little love hearts on Instagram, does that make you feel differently?
yeah,
Sounds crazy, but of course it does. I, too, just as guilty.
yeah, the faces, everything. You know.
Makes you, right, the emojis, right, makes you feel different. So it's emotional. But then there's that. It's, when are you going to put the darn thing down? When's it too much? And some of you know that look, right? It's either coming from you or you're giving it to somebody. It's like, all right, really? Like, can you put the thing down? Because you all sleep with your devices for the most part, most of us, right? It's your new companion. If I took your device away for right now and put it up here where you can't touch it or see it, how would you feel? Would that change your emotion?
Yes.
Make you anxious as hell. right? And years ago, I did that as a fun thing. I used to do this manager broker, back when social was just getting started. I took a group of managers in a room, and I made them all, back when smartphones were like, who's got a smartphone, right? All of them, yeah, I got a smartphone. Great, give them to me. Just give them to me. I made them put it up on the desk, all of them, pile them up. And it was so funny watching the human element of that. Some would just put it face down. Some would stack it in a certain way. Like they didn't want their phone being touched by another phone. Like it was such a psychology of weirdness. And then I made them all go sit down. I couldn't communicate. Like they were not looking at me. They were watching things buzz and vibrate and blink. They couldn't pay attention to me. Their phones were sitting over there. So think about that emotional, ridiculous connection. So we've got to figure it out. The one thing I want to share with you, I think is the simplest tip ever to me, but probably one of the most valuable today, is how do you listen better on social media? We talk a lot. We get paid to talk. But if you could listen, imagine going back 20 years. Who's in the business 10, 20 years maybe? Right? Imagine if you had a list. Someone gave you a list and said, hey, here are all the people that are going through life events. Here's some people that are getting divorced. Here's some people that are getting married. Here's some people that just had babies. Here's some people that just graduated their last kid. What makes real estate happen? What makes real estate happen? Life events. Right? For the most part. Imagine if you just had a list. Here's a bunch of life events. These people are all going through something. Are they a good prospecting list? Hell yeah. Like I'd want that all the time. We never had it. Now I'm not saying we do have it, but you're pretty darn close. People on social media talk about all day long life events. So here's a challenge. There's also perception of what you pay attention to. Because remember, it's emotional. I'll give this example. I use my sister as the guinea pig to this because it's a simple story. If she went to the doctor's right now this morning, finds out she's having a baby, right? She comes back, the sonogram, the picture, she makes a social post, tags everybody, this big happy moment, everyone's connected, right? Boom. By the time I get to my phone, because I'm here with you guys this morning, having breakfast, we'll spend some time today. 2 hours later, when I get back to my phone, I go on Facebook, where's the post? Where is it? It's buried in the bottom of the feed, right? Or the algorithm, or whatever they're changing. So I didn't see it. Didn't even know it existed. Do you think my sister knows a day later that I didn't see it or comment or like or anything? Do you think she's paying attention to me not doing anything or communicating with her? Do you think she knows that I didn't connect? Yeah. How do you think she feels? Not good. Yeah, I'm scum. He's too busy. He doesn't pay attention. Because people think, just like when they send you a text message, while we don't have to, but the expectation is, you're going to get back to me right now. I want it now. So expectations are terrible. Today's consumers' expectations are really on demand. And while you don't have to do it, they may not just wait for you. That's just unfortunately how it is. So here's the same thing with your customer now. You sold somebody a home. 6 months goes by. Are you really talking to them day to day anymore? Truth? I know the answer to that, no. But yet, they make a post that says, I love my new kitchen, I love my new granite countertops, we just renovated, here's the before, here's the after picture, what do you think? And you don't even see it. You're not even paying attention because you're on to the next 10 deals, you're not listening, it's in the news feed, it's in an algorithm, don't even know what happens. And they know you didn't say, like, comment, pay attention or anything. What do you do when the guy says, hey, my oldest child is graduating and off to college, empty nester now, big old colonial. What are we going to do? Maybe we'll go down south. They say that stuff, don't they? Hey, guess what? We're having twins. Congratulations. You're in a one-bed condo. Congrats. Life events. But you don't pay attention to them because you don't know. So all of these things are happening. And all I want you to do is think about how do we capture this information. So I want you to write down, and if you haven't done it, and I want you to actually do this daily, is create Facebook lists. You do it once, actually, and manage it daily. Facebook lists. And all a Facebook list is let's just make an example up, is I create a Facebook list, and I'll show you how to do it. And again, it won't be super tutorial today because I don't want to bore you guys, but the strategy is simply this. I make a list, and let's say I call them past clients, because I know you're not talking to your clients much after the sale. You might send them some stuff, you might run into them, but the last thing you'd want to do is run into Mary at Target, ask her how her husband John is, and she'll be like, he just got out of the hospital. He had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It was all over Facebook. You should have known. She was posting from the hospital. Like you should have been paying attention to that and picked up the phone and talked to her and said, oh my God, how can I help? Is there something I could do? And do something as a human. We lose that human part. But if you knew about it, just like anything else, you could have paid attention to it. So you create a list, past clients. You put your clients in that list, your past clients in that list. then instead of daily, my morning consists of this. On my mobile phone, where did I put it? It's over here. Sorry, the camera there. My mobile phone, instead of just going to Facebook, and don't get me wrong, we get sucked into stuff and I go through the feed, and I just see random people's stuff. I go to my lists. My lists have my past clients. So I could see what Mary and John and my clients from a year ago or 2 years ago are doing, because it filters out their posts. So I could pay attention to them. Imagine if I had that client, I liked and commented on their stuff once a week. It feels like I haven't left them. I'll know what their daughter just did. I know who won the soccer trophy. I know when school's ending for their kids. I know all that stuff because that's what they're putting out there. It's the most valuable data in the world. We just don't know how to collect it and listen to it. So a Facebook list. I have a list for my clients. I have a list for my family and friends. I have a list for people I do work with. If I was a broker of an office, I'd have a list for my office so I could pay attention to what they're talking about. And it's not a matter of stalking. It's just paying attention to the people that matter. So I can actually stay more connected to them. So when they say something of importance, good, bad, or indifferent, you could be there and comment and like, and also then pick up the phone and be human. Does that make sense? Right? So the simplicity of it is, and I just have a few screenshots, but everyone's got a little different system, browser. It's in your friends category. You just go into your friends category, and there's going to be a button that says create a list. It really isn't brain surgery. It's going to then say put people in the list. Who do you want? You type in their name. If you're connected to them or friends with them, pops them, you select them. If I close on 3 homes this month, and I'm connected to 2 of them, I go back in and just add them to the list. See, once you do it, it's really kind of done once. There's a secondary type of list that you can make besides just one you categorize. I think the one you make individually is more important, but there's going to be an option to create a list based on geography. Meaning, I farm, what office are you in? East Brunswick, or let's say I sell in the East Brunswick area, or maybe a wider. You could pick a geographic area of 10 miles, 8 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles, and just filter those people you're connected to in that geographic area. That's good for farming. That's good to know what's up to in your neighborhoods. That's good to know what people are talking about in those areas. Traffic, schools, businesses, all sorts of stuff going on based on that geography. When you go into your friends category, Facebook thought they were smart and said they're going to create what's called smart lists. So they tried to create some of the obvious ones like, hey, Jeff, you went to Kane University. We'll create one for Kane University, so we'll connect you with people. There is one for based on the town you reside in. Just click on it. It'll open up, and it'll say, pick friends who live within blank miles of that town. You just change the filter. 30 miles, 80 miles, 70 miles. Just make it once, and it just filters people that you're connected to. So for me, that's a quick snapshot of what are people talking about in East Brunswick, New Brunswick, surrounding area. Good to know that, because there's a ton of stuff from a real estate perspective we should know that when we're talking to customers about that are happening. To me, it's information, right? So I think those 2 lists. Now, you have to create them, still to this day, as far as I know, on a desktop or a laptop. But you can access them and comment and like and do everything you really need to do on the remote control of our life, which is here. I have a screenshot for those from my iPhone. It's not the sexiest screenshot, but it's the reality of where it really is. I didn't create the Facebook platform, but if I was in my Facebook app, right, I'm in the actual app. At the very bottom, you'll have your messenger and all sorts of stuff, notifications. The bottom right, it says more. So I would write Facebook app, bottom right, more. Once you do it once or twice, you'll know where it is. After I click more, the screen will scroll up. It would be this screen. And I'm looking for the word feeds. Feeds means lists. Should just say lists, but it's called feeds. You'll find the lists that you created there. So it makes it real simple. Morning, cup of coffee, Facebook app, go to my feeds, check out my list. I'll go through Family First Funding. I work with 110 loan officers, and I check what's going on, what are they up to, go to my family, my friends. Just scroll through the lists. Like, comment, and talk. That's where I'll spend most of my time, because that's all that really matters to me for the most part, right? And then if I do get that time, I'll scroll through the feed, the regular feed. So I think you use lists 2 ways strategically. Watch what happens when you start paying attention to your customers and you're staying engaged with them and you're listening to what they're actually doing. It's magical. When you can spend 6 months, 8 months, and then you run into them, it's like you never left them. Right? Simple tool, costs you nothing, easy to use. Right? We good on that? Okay. that I want to move to Facebook business pages. I'll call them farming pages because I'm from real estate background. To me, everything's about farming and listings. How do I get more? So, and I'm not saying this is a magic pill. It's not a magic button. It's not going to create listings for you overnight. However, what are you doing with your business pages now? Truth. I know the answer. Not much. You created one because we thought we did, and maybe you didn't create one, but we created a business page. We probably named it something along the lines of you or your real estate business. You post some stuff up there, some listings, some articles and stuff, because that's what we thought we would do. But how much engagement and people do you talk to on that page? Not many. So, I don't know about you, but there's a definition I have of insanity that you guys know about, right? Definition of insanity is what? Same thing? And expect a different result. So I'll post a listing up there. I don't get much going on, but I'm going to do it again next week because that's what I think I'm supposed to do. Right? That's what I thought I was supposed to do. It's a business place. I'm going to put my business stuff. But the end of the day is I don't want you to do anything on social media. I'm not here to tell you got to be on Twitter. You've got to be on Snap. I don't care. I want you to do one or two things really well, and that's it. Don't move on until you do one or two things. Because I watch people have 8 different platforms. They do nothing on all 8. Right? You can't spend that kind of time. Focus on the one or two. So if you have a business page that's not doing anything, you have 2 choices. Stop. Or do something different with it. Something different and I'm going to give you ideas and strategies we're using with other companies, and these are real estate companies. I'm not saying they're magic pills. What's the whole purpose of a business page, though? Why are you thinking you're doing that? What's the purpose? Engaging your business. But isn't it really about finding more?
I thought it was also because as realtors, we're supposed to be posting on that.
Okay.
We're really supposed to be selling on your personal page.
That is correct. There is a...
share our business page, but we can't. Correct?
Correct. So Facebook's rules, of course, there's always some grayness to it, and I don't know about the Facebook police, but you're not supposed to be putting business propaganda, marketing on personal pages. However, it still does happen, and I'm not advocating for it. So maybe the page was the only other place to put stuff, and maybe there is. However, if you're not getting anybody's attention or eyeballs on it, it's like, how much would I spend? If I said it cost $1,000 a month and you're getting nothing from it, how long would you do it? Nothing. But because it's free, we continue to do it, but we're still not getting any results. Our time is what we have to think about, because why would I do something I'm not getting any results from? So I'm not saying you shouldn't put it there. What I'm saying is, if you're going to do it, let's think about something first. I want to talk to an audience of more people. Remember the very first thing about inventory is if I knew more people and could talk to more people, I have more opportunities to sell and market homes. Truth? Yes. People. So if I had a Facebook business page that had 1,000 people on it, does it matter if it's a real estate page, first of all? What if I had a page on, playing golf? I don't like to play golf, but what if 1,000 people on my page about playing golf and golf ideas? Is that still good for my real estate business? Sure. Of course. 99% of them live in, own, and rent a home, and we all have something in common, golf. And we all like each other because we're talking about the same stuff. So what's the difference if it's really... I'm not saying you shouldn't have a real estate page, but if you're going to have a page, why don't you do something that's going to interest the consumers or the people you can connect with about something you're really passionate about? Anybody have a hobby outside real estate? And don't tell me all I do is work for a living. Because I kind of know that. Who has something you do outside of work that's kind of hobbyish or fun? Come on.
I raise chickens now.
You raise chickens?
Yes.
How awesome. So, do you hatch them from the little things too, like in the incubators? You bought them hatched. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I hate to ask this question. Is there other people that are into the farming chicken?
Millions.
Okay. So, as crazy as that might sound, because it's unique, you could build an audience around that, right? Right, and or the process of that, and or the fun of growth, and the fun of how do I do it, and watch them grow kind of a thing. Sounds silly, but if you had 500 people on that page talking about chickens, is that a bad thing for your real estate business? Is it fun for you to do because it's part of your day? Right. So, your chickens are going to be your thing. No, it sounds crazy, but think about that. I'll share with you guys... And it's maybe time for a different talk on a different day. But I have this presentation I've created myself. It was called 7 Streams of Leads, 7 Streams of People. But it goes into the same concept. Is I need more streams of people to talk to. Right? One of my most popular streams of people that I went out and found, like maybe the chicken audience, was archery for me. I shoot 3D archery. I don't spend enough time doing it, but me and the kids, we shoot archery, 3D targets, and it's a fun thing. I live in Sussex County. There was a group by me called it's still there, Appalachian Bowmen. Didn't know they were there. This little farm building out in the middle, 200 acres, private club, 80 members, male, female, all ages. I joined because I wanted to. But guess what? First 2-3 months, no one knew I was in real estate. I wasn't there for real estate. But our business is people. And after the 3rd month of everyone knowing me, jeans, sneakers, bringing my kids, everyone, oh, your kids are adorable. I walked in one day with my real estate shirt on, like I just was running late. And their magnet went off, like, you're in real estate? I'm like, yeah. And I didn't want to talk about it, but I couldn't stop talking about it because that's all I wanted to know now. There wasn't a week that went by that someone said to me after a meeting or whatever, hey, man, can I pick your brain on some ideas? I got my mom's house and I'm not sure what to do with it and the value. And sure, yeah, we'll grab some coffee. Because you know what? They liked and trusted me already. And I was there for the right reasons. I was there for chickens, right?
Everyone should be there for chickens.
Right. It's the audience of the commonality. It's not a hard business. Don't get me wrong. It's a hard working business. But if you think about it from the smart way, is finding more people with things in common that will like and trust you. So if I had that page, something about that, we got stuck on real estate. And while you could have a real estate page for still online presence, you can still have a really good real estate page to have it publicly found because Google will find your business page. But my main purpose would be to have a page where I could talk to people and build relationships with something in common. These happen to be real estate related pages, but different than what maybe you're used to. This is just a sample. Tampa Real Estate Investment is the name of the page. It's not like Jeff Lobb, the real estate guy. Because no one really cares about my page. They're not waking up to go to my Facebook page to see my new listing. So they created all about the investment opportunity and all about how to buy investments and construction costs. And they're sharing ideas and doing stuff. It's a great network, too, because I'm sure they're, hey, who's looking for a great deal? I got a property that just came on. It's a network, right? That's a page theme, if you will. The Tampa Real Estate Insider. She is I'm using this as an example. She's taking that inquiring minds want to know personality. She's like, what's the scoop in Tampa? People love to read that kind of stuff, like what's happening, what's new, what's going on downtown. So she took the theme of that, and that's her niche. Build an audience around that kind of content based on her personality. Best of Sea Isle. This was a unique page. I'm not saying these are all perfect pages, by the way. Just sharing with you the ideas. Because at least if I could build 800 to 1,000 people or 500 people, I at least had people to talk to and network with. Best of Sea Isle. You guys know Sea Isle, New Jersey? It's down south. Big summer destination, rental market. I'm going to go from Bergen County down the shore for the week kind of a thing. They keep up on what's happening in Sea Isle all year long while they're sitting at work in New York and Pennsylvania. That's if I vacation there every year. They'll keep me posted on, hey, the new little golf thing's opened up. There's a new restaurant that came into town. Give me all the scoop of what's going on. So when I go on my vacation, how many people go on a vacation down there and eventually buy a home down there? They're feeding that market of information. So they're talking all about the best of that area for people who come to that destination. You guys might know this one. Who's in the Cranford office? You know, 365 Cranford Westfield. It's a Facebook page. She's been doing it for a long time. It's really just focused on the community itself. And I'm going to share with you some ideas I have about community because there's some pros and cons to it. I have a really good way I want to share with you on how to prospect in your community because prospecting is difficult for many, right? Anybody really love prospecting? There's always usually a few. Do you? Great. Who else? You like it? Good. If we can make prospecting easier, would that be helpful? Okay, good. Because I'm going to share with you an idea tied to this kind of a theme, but a little bit different. This is Sharon Steele and Coldwell Banker. Welcome to Warren. That's a theme based on community, all what's happening in the Warren Township market. Right? So you see where the theme is going. However, when Top 10 Miami was around, this was what gave me, I had this idea pre-Facebook, and I didn't have Facebook to use it. Top 10 Miami is a destination site about travel. You know, top 10 bars, top 10 restaurants, whatever. So before Facebook was born, when I was selling real estate, part of my thing was this. I used to knock on doors. Years and years ago, when I first started, I knocked on doors with a gold jacket on. Mustard gold. Mustard. Ugly mustard. They made it a lot nicer looking now. However, you knew I was in real estate because that was a branding thing. When you saw this guy with a gold jacket, it was just, that's how they tied brand together. But knocking on doors for a living, if you've ever done it, it's okay. It wasn't my favorite thing, but I did it because that's the only way I knew how to get business. Had no fear, didn't care. When people were sitting in the office waiting for the phone to ring, I was out talking to people. Only because I didn't know any better and I was just young and didn't care. So I did that. Then I also learned, what if I could stop knocking on 100 doors a day What if I could just go find people who knew a lot more people? Meet one person that knows about 300, 400. And to me, what it turned out to be was the local businesses in my town that serve those consumers. So my farm area, for example, was, say, 300 townhome complex. That was one of my farms. And I used to maybe sell it was a feeder farm for me, 4 or 5 townhomes a month, because they'd either come out of a rental and up, or they'd go in and then they got married and need to move out. It was a constant churn. So for me, it was a great feeder program to market to because of the ins and outs of people moving. You guys understand what churn is, right? Had a lot of churn, up and down. People got to a 4-bed colonial. Everyone was out of the house. They don't need that big of a home anymore. They moved down to the townhome again. It was a full cycle. So I looked at this market and said, okay, good. Who in this 10-mile area serves these people? Like, who serves it? Restaurants, karate studio, dance studio, sporting, all that stuff. Coffee shop, bagels. And I chose to say, okay, what if I had a page, now again, I didn't have Facebook, that said something like the top 5 in Sussex County, or best of Sussex County. If I said I'm going to create a page that's the best of Sussex County, and I walked into my local bagel shop, pizzeria, coffee shop, where my customers go every morning, right? And let's say you're the pizza owner. Do you mind? You're a chicken owner. You're the pizza owner. Think about this as a prospecting script. Remember, first of all, prospecting is about getting to know more people, but you have to have a value proposition today. Like, we don't want to just go ask. Too many people just ask me for my business, but haven't given me a darn thing of value first. I want to give you value first. So, first name again? Kathy. So you're the owner of a pizzeria today, right? My name is Jeff Lobb. I'm with Remax. Kathy, we just put together a Facebook page that's talking about all of the best of Sussex County. You know, I'm picking some of the best places. I think you guys do a fantastic job on pizza and desserts, and you've been delivering to our house for 100 years. I would love to highlight your business, you, the owner, the family, and I would love to post it on my page and share it with all my real estate clients, because they're always asking me, where's a good place to go? Would you mind if I highlighted and elevated your business on my page and posted about you guys? We take some pictures, maybe do some video, just because I think you guys do a great job and I want to help.
That would be fantastic.
How many people are walking into anybody in your community offering to help them? You are? Good for you. You mind sharing?
I go to all of the neighborhood meetings.
Good.
And there is where they disclose things that are happening.
Awesome.
That's how I typically end up helping.
Great network, right? So if I did this, and now keep in mind, I'm using a business page as a vehicle to offer just local people in the community, the farm stand, whoever it is. And then you and I get to take a couple pictures together, and I get to talk about, well, so how long have you actually been doing it? How big is the family? You know, and I take pictures. What's your favorite dish? What do you really love to? If I sat down, what would you recommend to me? And I take a picture of the dish too. And I make a cool post about that. But it goes beyond the post. Then I ask you and I share with you, saying, hey, listen, why don't you share this to your pizza page or your whatever page you got, and tag a lot of your clients too, because it's almost like a press release or publishing validation for her too. And share that. What did that really cost me? Time. Isn't prospecting time? I'm going to either sit on the phone and call 100 people, I'm going to go knock on 100 doors, or I'm going to go talk to 5 or 6 business owners or networking owners in town and push it. And if I put your stuff on my page and you share that, that helps my page get promotion. You feel kind of elevated, like, hey, this was really awesome. I picked you as one of the best. I called it the best of, you're one of the best. How many places can you talk to like that? How many places reside? I'm not talking your big franchise Subway stuff. I'm talking like local people that grind every day, where your customers go every day. Your customers are in line all day, lunchtime, morning coffee, wherever they're going. I'm thinking karate studios. Who has all the kids? The play zone stuff. Like, that's the stuff where your business is going to get done. And it's an easy way to talk to people, which a lot of us don't like to do. That's one idea. So a lot of these ideas revolve around, and it came to this about 2016. How many of you know Gary Vee? Gary Vee, right? He's a fun guy, very, very entrepreneurial. If you listen to him, you know his tone, right? I was speaking out at Inman in 2016 in San Francisco. Gary Vee was their keynote. And, you know, I've followed Gary for years, a lot of his books. And I happened to be sitting by accident next to D-Rock, his video guy, right? Sitting right next to me shooting. So a lot of the angles were... And he's not in real estate, but he's just got that vibe of knowing. And he came up with a term, and he coined it as, you know, if you're in real estate, if I was in real estate, you need to become the digital mayor of your community. And by that digital mayor, the same thing that went through my head is, that's the stuff I've been talking to, teaching people to prospect. How do I become that digital mayor? Meaning, how do I get to know everybody from a social standpoint by connecting with them. How do I do that? To me, that's what I think his definition is in our terms, is me going out. And I'll promise you this. If you said, Jeff, I'm going to take you to anywhere USA. Now, I've only got a New Jersey real estate license, but get my license anywhere USA, drop me there to sell real estate. I mean, I would do a whole bunch of stuff, but one of the main things, how am I going to go find people today to start talking to? This strategy would be one of them. I could walk into Denver, Colorado, walk in, and hey, my name is Jeff Lobb from Remax. I created this page, Best of Denver, best places in Denver, and I'm going to build this and help these business owners. That'll put me in front of a network, because guess what? You're the pizzeria owner. Do you attend Chamber of Commerce meetings? Do you go to all sorts of town meetings? Do you go to all sorts of stuff with other business owners? Do you play golf with other people? What do you, like, you know a lot of people. Besides the customers, how many other business owners do you know? How many investors might you know that have cash? Lots of things that you don't realize that one person knows. To me, it's a more value than knocking on one door of a residential area. Just that was a better use of my time if I'm going to prospect. So I don't care how you twist and shape that strategy, if you use it at all. And I know it's only meant for like 2% of you that'll do it, but it's magical, and I would do it tomorrow. Day one, I'd probably start that concept. I also want you to understand this, and I had to put this together because I watched this mistake. This quote is, we will watch people think this is a good idea. We're going to go out and start a community page, name it something cool, and here's what's going to happen. And this happened to my clients of mine. Jeff, I created this awesome page. It's called this and that. Great. Show me the posts. I look at all these posts. I'm like, that's awesome. Post about this, post about that, this restaurant, that downtown area. I'm like, great. So tell me more about it. She's like, well, we're getting a lot of activity. That's great. Did you talk to any of these homeowners? Did you talk to any of these business owners? Did you actually go to their stores and ask them to post this? Or are you sitting behind a computer posting stuff about your community? Like, you could post about community stuff. The whole point of this whole thing is shaking hands with that individual and meeting them. That's the value of the real estate prospect. It's not about necessarily the post. It's about the people in the post. It gives you a chance to talk to people, right? So that's what I don't want people to mistaken for, is how that process works. Does that make sense? Good. Here's some others that are working. I got clients doing this from all parts of the country. These are my clients in Florida. She created a site called Keeping It Local Jupiter, Florida. She's attending, one of the tapas, wine and spirits. She showed up to the event. She asked the home, hey, Mr. I'm so-and-so from, Ecofine Properties. I have a page called, Keeping It Local Jupiter. We talk about the best place in Jupiter, Florida. Can I stop by your tapas? We'll have some wine together. Can I take pictures and post it and share it with a lot of my real estate clients? Would you mind? They're thrilled. It's almost like free press, right? And plus, they're having an open house anyway. So she's leveraging that to connect them to more people. Who else? She went to the extremes too. The dog walker. You know how many people dog walkers know? She went to who are the people in this community that know people? Dog walking service. You know how many people they talk to on a daily basis that have dogs? And then who knows first if someone's going to be moving first? Hey, you know what? I'm not going to need your services in a few weeks. We're thinking about putting our house on the market, and we're going to, okay. Have you picked a realtor yet? It's one of those first connections. Anybody have contractors that you work with that you get referrals from? Landscapers? My landscaper was golden to me. I mean, I took very good care of him. But the second he's doing a spring cleanup, oh, sure, we're doing a spring cleanup. We want to do a little more. We mulch the beds because we're going to be putting the house on the market in a couple months. Oh, that's awesome. Have you picked a realtor yet? No, we're starting to talk to them now. Let me give you my friend Jeff Lobb's card if you haven't talked to Jeff. Really? Boom. Magic, instant. I mean, it's done because we help them. I'll refer his business, but it's a two-way street. I was always in the door potentially when I never had a shot, didn't even know the house was going to go on the market. Remember, we didn't have any inventory. How inventory works? If he got me in front of 3 appointments I would have never even known about because I'm not landscaping, mulching beds. He got me appointments I never had before because I helped them. So it's not about having the contractor. It's how can we make top of mind and help them leverage that. And then if I put that contractor and promoted him on my pages, who needs a great landscaper? And let me show you some stuff he's done. Let me show you some pictures of him and her, whoever's doing it. That's how you leverage it with a Facebook page. To me, that's the vehicle. Okay? Now I'm going to show you an extreme. Can I show you an extreme without being intimidated? You got to promise not to be intimidated right up front. Because I have somebody that went to the extreme. Yeah? All right. So I think I have a video on this one. So our guys at Ecofine Properties went out, and there's one agent's fairly young. You'll see him, Mike Smalley. And he went out there and he started, Brian Smalley, my bad. Brian, he went out and found a spa mobile detailing guy, right? Just, hey, I think he's a cool guy. He's a solo entrepreneur, good guy to meet. He knows a lot of people, cars, boats, washing. So he went and did a video with them. Brought in a video crew like this for a day or half a day, a couple hours, whatever it is. And this is what it turned out to be, and I'll tell you the story when it's done. I'll give you just a small clip of it.
Hey everyone out there, this is Brian Smalley with Echo Fine Properties down here in sunny South Florida. I'm here with my good friend Sean Mosley with SNA Mobile Detailing. Sean, tell me a little bit about yourself. What got you into this business?
I started this business almost 10 years ago. I saw that there was a need for people who really have a desire for having their vehicles professionally auto detailed, their homes pressure cleaned, and they wanted the top-notch customer service. And that's what we love to provide to customers throughout Palm Beach County. We want to bring the best service, the best customer service, and just see the customer satisfied is what we desire. We do a wide range of things. We do automobiles, we do recreational vehicles, we do boats, we do planes, we clean homes, roofs, we do large contracts, big commercial vehicles. We also do tile and grout. We're going to expand to carpet cleaning soon. Back when I first started, I was young. I didn't really know too much about it. I did do a lot of studying of the understanding of what detailing really meant.
Sure.
And then I came across someone, as you all may know, his name is 50 Cent. And I did about 3 of his vehicles down in his office down in Boca. They have a company called SMS Headphones, and he has some very nice exotic type of vehicles that I did so he can have them ready for a photo shoot. But I detailed a Ferrari 458 California edition. I did a Lamborghini Aventador, which is very nice. And I take pride in all of the work that I do. I don't measure a job as big or small or something that I should put half effort in.